Huge thanks to Max from Kinem Robotics for teaching me about this. This is a relay, an electrical component commonly used in electronics, robotics, automotive systems, and anywhere you need to control a high power device using a low power signal. Relays let a small current safely switch a much larger current on or off. But how do they work? Hi, I'm Felix, and I made this video because Max from Kinem Robotics has taught me how relays work, and this video is to show what I've learned from him. On the outside, a relay has 5 pins, and if we turn that into an electrical schematic, it looks like this. The 2 pins on the left are both coil, and on the right there is the normally open or NO pin, common contact, and normally closed or NC pin. In electrical engineering, the term normally is used to describe the default state of a component when it is unpowered. This means that the normally closed pin is connected to the COM pin by default when the relay has no power applied, and the normally open pin is disconnected from COM by default. When the relay is powered, these contacts swap positions so that NC opens and NO closes. But to understand what's really happening when these change state, we need to look inside. A relay has a few important parts: the coil, the armature, a pivot, fixed contacts, and the moving contact. These are the core components of an electromechanical relay. Now, to activate the relay, we add a power source to the coil pins, which puts a current through the copper wire, and then, oh look, we now have an electromagnet. This magnetic field pulls the armature towards the coil, which rotates around the pivot, pushing the other side of the armature into the common contact, which disconnects the NC contact and connects to the NO contact. And if we disconnect the power, the same thing happens in reverse. This is how relays let a small current safely switch a much larger current on or off. So this is the inside of an actual relay, and as you can see there is the coil, armature, pivot, fixed contacts, and the moving contact. This relay requires a 24 volt input to the coil, which I don't have, but you can still see if I move my scalpel here, the contact moves back and forth. So back to the schematic, let's say that you wanted to turn on a light that runs off main power with a 24 volt DC signal current. First, we connect the low power, let's put a switch there. We connect the low power 24 volt DC current to the relay's coil pins. Then on the high power side, we connect the COM pin to one side of the mains power source. It doesn't matter which side, as long as the circuit can be completed. Then we connect the NO pin to the light, and then we connect the other side of the light to the mains power. Now, if we close the switch, the DC circuit completes, which moves the common contact into the normally open contact, which completes the AC circuit, which finally activates the light. Since the input current and output current never mix, you can control high power devices with much lower power devices. So the next time you walk through an automatic door or your light turns on automatically, you can thank a relay for making it work. Thanks for watching, and as always, huge thanks to Kinem Robotics for teaching me all about this.